finish you.
Even before the fight.
I finish you, little
Get
man.
that from here.
I finish
Get
you.
Some rivalries are hyped by a promo, while others are born out of pure hatred.
Shut your mouth, mate.
Forget what you thought you knew about UFC rivalries, because the beef between Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett, it didn't start in the octagon, it started with a tweet, and it escalated into national insults and almost ended with a bottle to the head. This isn't just trash talk, it's personal. This is the real reason why Ilia Topuria hates Paddy Pimblett and why this war might become the biggest grudge match since Khabib versus McGregor.
When I saw him last time, he got an hand sanitizer bottle bounced off his pod.
I don't understand you or anything. Back in the flouty mouthy, clouty, like what?
Hand sanitizer, boy!
You.
It wasn't a brutal fight or a face-to-face insult that kicked things off. It was a tweet. Back in 2021, long before either man cracked the top 10, Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett were both rising stars in MMA. They were confident, they were undefeated, and they were impossible to ignore. But then Paddy, he crossed the line. And not against Topuria directly, but against the entire nation of Georgia. Pimblett tweeted a now-deleted post aimed at Georgian fighter Guram Kudateladze, saying that the country is backwards. No wonder the Russians terrorized their lives. To many, it was tasteless. Topuria, whose family has been affected by the 2008 Georgian war, didn't see it as casual trash talk. He saw it as a deeply personal insult.
You can joke about me, say whatever you want to say about me. Whatever. He's a mushroom, he is this, he is that, Don't talk about war because you don't know how is it.
And many kids died in that war. Many people died in that war. You know, not a lot of good things happen in the war.
That single tweet turned a promotional rivalry into a personal vendetta. From that moment on, Paddy wasn't just another fighter, he became the one person Topuria was determined to humble, no matter where or when. Months later, in March of 2022 in London, both fighters were in town for separate bouts at a UFC Fight Night event. But when they crossed paths in the hotel lobby, the Twitter war nearly turned into a street fight. Topuria charged at Paddy backstage and fists were flying. Before anyone had time to blink, Paddy ducked the punch, tossed a bottle at Ilia's head, and the chaos exploded. Security barely kept them apart, and as that moment was caught on camera, it went viral, and so did the insults. Paddy mocked Topuria, nicknaming him Mr. Hand Sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer, boy!
Referring to the bottle that he supposedly used in self-defense. Topuria, now furious, vowed to take his head off the next time they met.
Just make sure that we don't find each other anywhere because I'm gonna take your head off.
The hostility turned physical and the grudge turned real. This wasn't a staged promotion, it was a fighter ready to settle the score. And when they got the mics in front of them, the venom got even louder. At UFC 282, Paddy Pimblett was there to face Jared Gordon. Ilia Topuria was set to fight Bryce Mitchell. But once the press conference began, the rivalry hit the microphones. Neither man was scheduled to fight the other, but the tension hijacked the press conference. The tension boiled over instantly. Paddy opened up by mocking Topuria and claiming that he was obsessed. Topuria shot back with fire, threatening to crush your face right there.
I went to your country, I slap your face, I get at the waist and win. If not, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna crush your face right here.
It developed fast. Spanish sausage, hand sanitizer boy, mushroom, and insults flew like punches around the press conference.
That was some chorizo, a Spanish sausage.
Oh. He's so different.
Your boy over there.
When you see me coming, he go to the back doors.
He's obsessed with me, lad. It's heavy.
Shut the
He hasn't stopped tweeting about me all week, lad. He needs to sort his life out.
Ilia even stood up, ready to fight right there, and Paddy egged him on. It didn't end with fists, but it nearly did. No question from the media mattered. The show was on, and just hours later, both fighters stepped into the cage, but with different results. that same night, the world took notice. Dana White praised him, and fighters, they started watching. Topuria wasn't just a contender anymore, he was a threat. But while Ilia was rising, Paddy Pimblett was stalling. That same night, he scrapped by Jared Gordon in a razor-thin decision that fans and media slammed as a robbery.
No strike. And look at this. Now Pimblett jumps on his back to end the fight.
The crowd booed, and the analysts called it the worst decision of the year. Topuria, fresh off his win, didn't hold back. He mocked Paddy online, and in an interview right after, he was throwing shade at the performance, and this reignited their feud.
I'm sure you saw, but did you happen to watch the Paddy Pimblett fight after getting this decision?
They give him a Christmas gift right now because he clearly lost the fight. I don't think anyone disagree with me in this room. Jared will win all 3 rounds. He didn't win any round. If he crossed on my way, so then we're gonna put his head like a prize head tonight.
The rivalry suddenly had receipts, and fans started seeing the gap. Ilia wasn't just louder, he was better. But even after that heat, the storm went quiet for a little while. Before we get on to the next one, guys, if you're liking it so far, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on those bell notifications so that you never miss another episode. But right now, it's time for us to talk about the Cold War phase beginning. For over a year, neither fighter publicly addressed the other. At UFC 282, things went pretty quiet, at least on the surface, but behind the scenes, both men were plotting their next moves. Topuria took the momentum and turned it into history. In June of 2023, he headlined against Josh Emmett when he put on a clinic of a show. 5 rounds of pure dominance, knockdowns, clean counters, and a master class in control.
See that side step? Beautiful back step, right hand. Beautiful technique.
He's showing the next level to Josh Emmett. And
Emmett in desperation mode now gives up the back.
Then, in February of 2024, he shocked the world, claiming the world title at UFC 298.
Beautifully there.
It was historic. However, Paddy was still rising, but at a much slower pace. He returned to action later in that year, but he hadn't cracked the top 10, while Ilia was chasing greatness. That was when Paddy was simply just chasing relevance. Topuria didn't talk much about this. He let his fights do it for him. Paddy Pimblett, he threw shade occasionally, but the rivalry had simmered into, let's say, a quiet war. No more tweets, no more face-offs, but fans knew it wasn't over, especially not after what came next. UFC 317 was supposed to be Ilia Topuria's coronation, and on the 29th of June 2025, it was just not in the way that anyone expected. After dismantling Charles Oliveira and capturing the lightweight belt, Topuria stood center stage, gold over his shoulder, soaked it all in, but then Paddy Pimblett showed up. You could feel it in the air. After years of insults, tweets, and post-fight jabs, the two finally stood face to face. Topuria stepped forward and shoved Paddy clean across the canvas. No words, just fury. Security swarmed in, and just like that, years of bad blood erupted in seconds of pure tension. This wasn't promotion anymore. This wasn't trash talk. This was real. The UFC didn't make it official that night, but fans knew. A super fight wasn't a matter of if, it was when. And that shove was the signature on the contract, signed in ego and sealed in violence. And while the UFC hasn't booked it yet, the tension is already main event level. It's not about belts anymore, it's bigger than that. Topuria is now a champion, a knockout artist with perfect precision and some real heat. While Paddy the Baddie was no longer a sideshow, he actually became a real threat. But the story is what makes this fight so special. War jokes, national pride, real hate. It's not just hype, it's a legacy, and this is bound to be one of those fights that if it happens, we are all going to love the build-up and we're gonna love the payoff. The hate is real and the history is deeper than most fans know, but the war between Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett isn't finished just yet. It's set in time. The truth is that Ilia doesn't dislike Paddy, he resents him. And Paddy is smart enough to know that this fight is both danger and destiny, and it's his shot at some gold. So drop your predictions in the comments, guys. Hit that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the bell notifications, because when this fight actually happens and it hits the cage, someone is getting humbled. But we want to know, what do you guys think about this potential matchup down in the comments, and we will catch you on the next one.